Now, KOCO 5 News continues.
Right now in the morning, officers chased two people through the metro and down to Norman. What they say was in that car.
The Thunder head home after a heartbreaker in Houston. You'll see the moment that lost the game.
And finishing the race.
I wanted to cry because I wasn't going to finish. I was so close to the finish line.
One Boston runner got to take his last strides here in his Oklahoma hometown. We'll tell you his story coming up. Your news starts right now.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News. In the morning, in high definition.
And good morning, Oklahoma. I'm Wendell Edwards.
And I'm Maggie Stokes. Thanks so much for joining us. It's 5 o'clock. A warm start out there. We are loving the spring-like temperatures for now. We'll just say that. We'll get a full check of your forecast in just a bit.
But we're going to start overnight. Chase leads two people behind bars.
Officers say the suspects led them through the metro, then headed south. And this morning, KOCO's Rob Hughes is live. And Rob, where did this all end?
It all ended along Highway 77 in Norman. Several officers helped out with this chase and it reached moderate speeds. Take a look at some of this video we have for you. This happened around 12:30 in the morning when officers tried to pull over a man and a woman in a car in South Oklahoma City. They refused to stop, leading them along a chase down I-35 through Moore and Norman, where it finally ended along a desolate road, Highway 77 in Norman. When these two suspects slammed into a fence, they then took off on foot, but officers caught them a short time later with the help of a police helicopter. Now, this man and woman are in the Oklahoma County Jail right now. They have not been identified. No major injuries or damage were reported during this chase, but we do know that drugs were found in the car. We'll bring you the very latest on air and online as soon as we get it. We're live in downtown Oklahoma City. I'm Rob Hughes, KOCO 5 News.
Okay, thank you, Rob. And if prosecutors do charge those two today, you can get all the updates as they happen online at KOCO.com.
Well, it was down to the wire last night in Houston. The Thunder taking on the Rockets, Game 4. The Thunder with a chance to win the series in the last few seconds. Serge Ibaka missed the follow-up shot that would have taken the game into overtime. You can see the Houston Rockets fans there celebrating. KOCO's Dan Thomas is live at the Chesapeake Energy Arena, Dan. So that's where they're headed next for the series, back here in OKC.
That's right, Wendell, bringing it back home for the possibility of a series win back here at the Peak. Could be a lot worse, right? It was clear last night the Thunder still at times dominate the Rockets. Second quarter, Thunder up by 13 points. After the half, though, the Rockets came out strong. The Rockets going up by 13 points. James Harden, though, getting in foul trouble, gave the Thunder another chance. With that Rocket lead evaporating, the Thunder had a lot of chances, in fact, to close out the series right there in Houston. Derek Fisher, three-pointer overturned by a shot clock violation. Later on, Reggie Jackson with a late three-pointer just rattled out of the bucket, wouldn't fall. KD, though, staying positive, tweeting just hours ago, quote, "We'll be all right. We're up 3-1. We have a good opportunity to try and close it out at home." KD finishing the night, 38 points. The Thunder back here at the Peak. Tip-off tomorrow night at 8:30. And guys, listen to this. If you don't have a ticket, they've held back a few tickets here for Game 5. They go on sale 10 o'clock this morning on the Thunder website. Reporting live in downtown Oklahoma City, Dan Thomas, KOCO 5 News.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Katie, always the gentleman. Okay, now to more headlines. The FBI hopes new video will help track down the people who vandalized a local mosque. Surveillance video caught two men sneaking around the mosque in Oklahoma City on Saturday. Investigators believe the men spray-painted derogatory words and symbols on the building. Right now, the FBI is investigating this as a possible hate crime. And this morning, we could learn more about the death of an everyday local hero.
We're talking about Edmond Fire Captain John Werhun. He lost his battle with cancer. He died over the weekend. Now the city is making big plans to rally around his family and support them. Werhun served at the Fire Station 1 for 19 years. And even as he fought cancer, he was still on duty pretty much every day that he could and ready to serve our community. People close to him say it was hard to even tell he was sick.
At work one day is talking about that John had went down to MD Anderson and they'd given him that terrible news that, you know, it was, I guess, terminal.
Werhun's family scheduled his memorial service for Friday. If you want to help the family, they've set up a fund at the Citizens Bank of Edmond.
FBI agents are following new leads in the Boston Marathon attack today. Agents took a DNA sample from the wife of the older Boston bombing suspect Tamerlan on Monday. Investigators say they found female DNA on a fragment of the pressure cooker bombs used in the attack, but they stress that does not necessarily mean that a woman played a role in the bombing. New this morning, a local runner who didn't get to finish the Boston Marathon completed his run this week. Comanche native David McCord was just 8 blocks from finishing the race when the bombs went off.
I wanted to cry because I wasn't going to finish. I was so close to the finish line.
But McCord ran the last mile around the Comanche High School track on Monday. Take a listen.
Like life coming back full circle, and especially after the marathon, to be able to finish it here in Comanche, 1,700 miles away, with the people that I love and that love me, means the world.
All of his friends and family were there to support him. A special moment, arms in the air, through the tape. Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
for him. And to come back and do it here in Oklahoma, in his hometown, what better way? Kind of poetic, I think.
Yes, more than 25 miles already in
I know.
Boston, and then one more here.
Good
I'd
for
say
him.
it counts, yeah.
I'd still be running. Let's take a look at your weather now. It's going to be another warm spring day. I so enjoyed yesterday.
Me too. Brad, we have you to thank for this.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'll take credit for it too. Yesterday and today. We'll give it to somebody else for tomorrow. We won't talk about tomorrow. I guess we kind of have to. But anyway, 64 in Oklahoma City, 67 in Stillwater. Enjoy it today because it's not lasting forever, as we just talked about. 68 in Guthrie right now, Okarche 65, Chickasha right now at 63. Here's your hour by hour and abundant sunshine. 11 a.m. 74, still looking great out there. 6 more hours of weather for you. Lots of warm today, lots of AC cutting back on for your comfort level. But you know what? We're going to be turning the heat back on again. Isn't it such a waste? Man, you go from using your AC to the heat. The bills are all jacked up. You know, that's just the way it is. This is a crazy spring. The roller coaster continues. Some record cold possible. We're covering that here at 5:15. For now, Wendell, back to you.
Thank you, Brad. In international news, Syria seeing more violence this morning, and the new uproar is all during the U.S. investigation into the country's chemical weapons. KOCO's Hallie Jackson is in Washington with what's happening overseas right now.
Wendell, the Pentagon is collecting evidence about the use of chemical weapons in Syria, specifically the nerve gas sarin. But even as Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel talked about the inquiry into who may have used the chemical weapons and why, he stayed tight-lipped about what military options the U.S. would consider. The head of the United Nations wants investigators allowed inside Syria to look into this further. Meanwhile, the violence in that country that has killed more than 70,000 people in the last 2 years shows no sign of slowing. A car bomb targeting Syria's prime minister, who survived, killed 6 other people yesterday. In Washington, I'm Hallie Jackson, KOCO 5 News.
Thank you, Hallie. Well, 6 months after Superstorm Sandy.
And the Northeast still aching.
Every little thing we do here is an obstacle.
What residents say is the biggest obstacle right now, and the scenes from where the storm hit.
How to beat the odds, the games experts say you should be playing to win big at the casino.
And let's take a live look outside. You're watching KOCO 5 News in the morning. It is 5:08. We're tracking a warm day for your spring day. Meteorologist Brad Souter has your forecast coming up and weather on the farms.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News in the morning with Maggie Stokes, Wendell Edwards, and Oklahoma City's most accurate forecast with meteorologist Brad Souter. Now, KOCO 5 News in the morning continues.
Well, T-Mobile customers who feel duped by the no-contract plan can get a full refund. A court order claims the company's ads were misleading and never mentioned early termination fees. So if you bought a phone and signed up for the 24-month plan between March 26th and April 25th, once again with T-Mobile, you can get a full refund by dialing 611 on your phone.
6 months ago, Superstorm Sandy slammed the Northeast. We all remember that destruction and devastation there. This morning, meteorologist Danielle Dozier is live in the Weather Center with an update on the recovery process. Danielle, they are still rebuilding.
Wendell, Sandy was a huge storm and the recovery process still underway. You may remember the storm made landfall as a post-tropical cyclone along the southern coast of New Jersey on October 29, 2012. Sandy, it nearly wiped out entire shorelines, destroyed homes, and knocked out power to millions of people across the eastern U.S. And you're taking a look at that footage. At least 113 people were killed in the U.S. and another 18 in Canada. Sandy caused $50 billion in damage and is the second costliest storm to hit the U.S.
What's been the most difficult part of this 6 months?
I guess seeing what's happened to the community. I think that's the most difficult.
Every little thing we do here is an obstacle.
The infamous Coney Island in New York was recently rebuilt after the storm and opened again in March. And a side note, Sandy's so powerful and caused so much damage, the National Hurricane Center has retired the name from its list of tropical cyclone names. Maggie Wendell, over to you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's
you
hard
believe it?
to imagine they're still trying to recover.
In 6 months.
I know, it's
Time
rough.
goes by fast.
Okay, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
We've all heard that old wives' tale, but which ones really can you believe? We're breaking them down for you.
And we are talking about some really cold air coming in. A cold front will blast Oklahoma. Just how cold will it get? Your first alert forecast coming up.
Welcome back to Eyewitness News 5 to KOCO 5 News in the morning. I keep doing
Wherever
that.
we are.
We're here regardless. It is 5:15. Time for weather on the
Let's
5.
say 5.
I've been doing so good lately too, so I'm start keeping track. So shame on me.
Well, so much has changed, you know. You got
change
the,
is
the
good.
new digs here. We got the new graphics, the new branding, you know, heading in the right direction.
We are.
You know what hasn't changed? This crazy Oklahoma weather.
Well,
Crazy is understated.
Right. It's not going to change for today.
Okay.
But yeah, tomorrow's a different story.
Yeah.
Someone on Twitter, a friend of mine, said we're going to see every single season this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that, you know, because I am talking about some snow in the forecast as well.
Oh, lovely.
For tomorrow or into Thursday for Oklahoma. Yes, it could be wild, absolutely wild around here. It is 64 right now in Oklahoma City. Other temperatures for you: Alva 64, Woodward 66, very mild, summer-like feel. So here's the summer. Okay, 68 in Guthrie, 66 in Edmond, 64 in Midwest City, so very mild. Highs today, middle 80s, close to 90, south wind at 15 miles per hour. And then the winter feel is coming really soon. That's as soon as tomorrow. Let's get right to it because today's just sunny and warm. 9 a.m. tomorrow, clouds are in store. Here comes the front. I think it's going to pass Oklahoma City by 5 o'clock. Could kick off some thunderstorms. 1 or 2 could be strong. I don't have a real chance for severe weather in there tomorrow. I'm just not seeing it with the models. More storms developing behind this front, though. They're going to be elevated storms. They could have some small hail with them. Also, notice this. Look at the blue up there. Guyman, the whole panhandle of Oklahoma, even areas near Woodward, a mix of rain and snow, some sleet, and that moves across the northern part of the state through the afternoon and evening. I don't think we'll really see a mix in Oklahoma City, but this is freaking weird. For May 3rd, can you believe it? 70 on Wednesday, temperatures falling, 46 on Thursday, 33 on Friday morning. Heads up on the frost. You're up to date with the latest First Alert forecast. Here's Alan Ao with a look at traffic.
East Memorial and Classen Avenue, just north of Kilpatrick, is our only real threat to the major roadways so far this morning as far as accident-related delays go. If you're using Memorial to access one of the majors around that area, that could be a little bit of a slip-up for you in the early morning hours. Apart from that, the flow's looking pretty good this morning. We want you to keep a special eye out to Amarillo Junction as they continue to kind of push back some bridge work that's due in that area that could slow things down to one lane eventually. I'm Alan Ao, and that's your traffic. Back to you.
Alan, thank you. George Zimmerman returns to court this morning for what could be a contentious pretrial hearing. The judge is expected to tackle several issues, including questions about Florida's Stand Your Ground law and a settlement paid to the family of Trayvon Martin. Zimmerman faces second-degree murder charges for shooting the teen last year. He says he acted in self-defense.
Today, President Barack Obama is expected to make an employment announcement at the White House. The White House says it'll impact veterans and military spouses. First Lady Michelle Obama, Vice President President Joe Biden and his wife. They will all be there.
If you like to take your chances at a casino, you may want to know which games give you the best chance of winning. So some experts came out with some tips for us. Experts say table games are your best bet. They say you should start by observing first, and then when you're ready, then you can start playing like blackjack. Craps is your second best chance to win. In the end, they say all you're really doing is betting on the roll of the dice.
Those tips don't help me. Okay, at Splitsville, for a country music superstar, Jason Aldean just filed for divorce from his high school sweetheart, citing irreconcilable differences. The 12-year marriage got rocky when we know a picture surfaced that appeared to show him kissing an American Idol contestant after a concert. The couple has 2 young daughters. Aldean is country music's top-selling male act this year. Sad for them.
I know. Gotta move on.
Okay. Tonight, another couple will hit the road after a Dancing with the Stars elimination.
But last night, all the couples were shaking it during the salsa.
Shake that bon-bon.
Kelly Pickler and partner Derek Huff, as you say, just give him the mirror ball right now.
Just give it to him already.
They tied for first. Next to them, couple Ali Rasman and Mark Ballas. You know, she was apparently suffered a back injury, and she nearly couldn't move after the show, but she looked pretty good there. And tonight's show will have a twist. They're honoring a Boston victim from the Boston Marathon bombing attack. She loves ballroom dancing, but lost her legs in the marathon blast.
Goodness. I hope she gets to dance with Derek. That's all I said.
That looked pretty sexy, right?
Yeah.
The housing market attracting new investors.
And another record for Wall Street. Take a look at America's Money.
Good morning. Topping America's Money, the still surging stock market, the S&P 500 opening at a record high level this morning. The index surged yesterday on strength of reports showing American wages and spending both on the rise. A stronger housing market also driving investors' confidence. The number of Americans who signed contracts to buy homes rose in March to its highest level in 3 years. The reasons? Steady job gains and near record low mortgage rates. The FDA has launched an investigation into added caffeine after Wrigley introduced a new energy-infused gum. 1 stick of the gum has as much caffeine as a half a cup of coffee. The FDA is concerned about the impact of a growing number of caffeine-enhanced products on children. And finally, a big step forward for Richard Branson's dream of space tourism. His Spaceship Two making its first engine-powered flight yesterday. More tests to come, and it's about $200,000 in case you're wondering for a round trip. That's America's Money. I'm John Muller.
America's Money, brought to you by Ally Bank.
At a dry cleaner, we replaced people with a machine.